What is structure? Many of the candidates, they face simply when I'm telling you to write an answer. When I'm telling them to write an answer, they will write like this. When I look at their questions, when I look at their answer, I say, where is the introduction? Where does your body begin? Where is the conclusion? I cannot see that. So here, structure means your organization of the answer should be that there is an intro. I can see that intro. There is a body. I can understand this is where the intro ends. This is where the body begins. And I can see between the intro and body is a very important component for your geography optional is the diagram. So intro, diagram, body and the conclusion. I can understand the intro yahan finish hua, the diagram is here, the body begins here, and then you have the conclusion, and then you have the conclusion. So when I say structure, I mean I could be differentiating the answer into various bodies, and in the body also. The structure means I understand this is the intro, this is the diagram, this is the body, this is the conclusion. And in the body too, I have the various headings and the subheadings. The headings and the subheadings. I would like to take an example of the topper Duru Shetty Reddy. If anybody of you have been able to see his answers, you will be able to understand that how beautifully he actually makes the heading from the question itself, makes the heading from the question, has some headings, has sub examples. That's like what does the structure means. Okay, not too many words written, 150 words, 200 words, and not too many, and despite that has got so good marks in GS. The reason is it is so much visible for your examiner. The more easy you make it for examiner to read, the better it is. The examiner, a 70-year-old person, 60-year-old person, we cannot expect him to read line by line, to read word by word. He does not have the incentive. He does not have the luxury of the time as well. Now, unko itna monetary compensation hai ki he reads. Nahi unko inta time hai that he reads. So the more easy you make it for your examiner to read things, the better it is for you. It is for your purpose, and that is why when you make synopsis, that is why when you make notes, you have to get these prerequisite in your answer writing. And this is not just for geography optional. This is also for your GS 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So you have intro, you have diagram, especially after the intro in the geography optional, the body, which should have headings and subheadings, and the conclusion. So this is the S part. Look at this. Now, does the examiner have an incentive to read this as compared to this? What do you think is more appealing to read? What do you think is more easy to read? A or B? A. That's what I wanted to point out. A is much more easy to read. I have an incentive to read as compared to the B. The examiner does not have the incentive, does not have the luxury of time. You have to get into the psychology of the examiner too. Right? Similarly, this. If this would have been here, there is no underlining. There is no underlining. As compared to this, look at this one. Okay, so there is no underlining, there is some underlining. What is the purpose of underlining? The purpose of underlining is to catch the attention कि ये पढ़ लो. इतना भी पढ़ लोगे ना तो बहुत है. ठीक है? इतना भी पढ़ लोगे तो बहुत है. The purpose of making a box is to catch the eye. Now what happens is people overdo that. I'm trying to see if someone has overdone. No. People overdo. They will underline each of the words, on all of the words. The incentive is reduced. The purpose of underlining is to catch the attention. The purpose of boxes is to catch the attention. So even you are underlining in the presentation, whenever you are underlining also, do that meticulously. Do that in a very nice manner. Okay, very meticulously, in a very nice manner to catch the eye. That should be the purpose of the underlining too. Structure means I want an intro. After the intro, we need a diagram, body and the conclusion. The body should have headings, subheadings. There should be good underlining also. Very meticulously you have to underline. One important thing is diagram. After the introduction, have a diagram. When I say diagram, those who actually draw a diagram, a very important thing is you should have a neat and a labeled diagram. Don't simply give me an outline of India and you have done nothing and you've just done this and you say black cotton soil. Ma'am, black cotton soil hai, Gujarat, Maharashtra mein hai, dekh lo. Where is Gujarat, where is Maharashtra? You find it for your own self. And this is how you make a diagram. I'm not kidding, this is the diagram that we get. Scratching with blue pen, red pen, pink pen. And then it's like you have not labeled the diagram. So a diagram should be neat, a diagram should be labeled. Again, understand, the better diagram you have, the examiner will you get more marks, especially in your geography optional paper. On every one side, try to have a diagram. On your human geography also, if it's like the Malthus theory has been asked or the Marx theory has been asked, a vicious circle could have been shown. A vicious circle for the Marx theory. Marx theory, he says, capitalism divide, because of the divide, the poor population want to increase the numbers, and therefore population, and therefore they become again poor, and again giving rise to the capitalism fuel. So this become, you can simply draw a cycle. You could simply draw a diagram and a table. So you simply box it, and this becomes the diagram part. This becomes the diagram part. So after the introduction, it is very important. It is very important to have the diagram in your geography optional. So in the structure part, I have touched upon the diagram. I have touched upon the body part. Structure. In the structure, intro, diagram, body, conclusion. The intro, diagram, body, conclusion. Body, I said headings and subheadings, diagrams, neat and well labeled. Neat and the well labeled diagram. Neat and the well labeled diagram. When I say neat and well labeled, you should have the names of the places. For example, if you're writing about black cotton soil, don't simply draw this and tell about the black cotton soil is here. A better candidate would be, what would be doing is, he would have written about it is a spread across Maharashtra and Gujarat. Okay, and in case he has some luxury, he will also write the properties of the black cotton soil. I hope all of you know about black cotton soil. In the soils of India, one type of soil is the black cotton soil, spread across Maharashtra and Gujarat and some portion of Karnataka. What are the properties? The properties could have been written here, like clay in content, black in color, what are the nutrients it is rich in. This becomes an added advantage for the candidate. Then you should be smart enough कि बहुत सारा information crunch ना करो, बहुत कम भी ना लिखो, बहुत crunch भी ना करो, because if you write too much, then that becomes disincentives. What is the most important thing is have the innovation to make the examiner read your answer. That is what is the sole purpose driving of the answer writing. He does not know whether you've studied for 3 hours, whether you've studied for 5 hours, whether you've studied for 12 hours. He will judge you on the basis of the answer that you have written. Okay, so this is about the diagram. Now, intro and the conclusion. Introduction and conclusion, you can have a format. 3 टाइप के इंट्रो हो सकते हैं, 3 टाइप के कंक्लूजन हो सकते हैं. इंट्रो क्या हो सकता है? एनी इंट्रो कैन बी अ फैक्ट. यू कैन स्टार्ट ऑफ विद अ फैक्ट. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल जो विमेन और लिटरेसी वाला क्वेश्चन था, you could give me a fact that this is the number of child born to the mother who is 10 plus. This is the number of child born to a woman who is 5th pass. A fact linking that literacy determines fertility. A health parameters. For example, your national population policy says the fertility rate is dependent on 3 factors. Majorly 3 factors. The national population policy of India. And what are those 3 factors? The IMR, the MMR, and you are about the population base. Then the couple protection ratio also is taken into consideration. So when I say IMR, MMR, the infant mortality rate, the maternal mortality rate, it depends on what? It depends on the health of the mother. If the mother is healthy, there will be less IMR, there will be less MMR, and the parent is secure कि ये बच्चा जिंदा बचे. The generation above us, why were they giving birth to 10 children? The reason was उनको पता ही नहीं था कौन सा बच्चा बचेगा कि नहीं. यानी अगर IMR ज़्यादा है, अगर MMR ज़्यादा है, then they will give more birth to the children so as to be secure about whether the child will be saved or not. And less IMR, less MMR, the less is the fertility also. So this is a fact. This is a fact that you can give while writing a introduction. So your introduction can be either be a fact. The introduction can be a definition. Okay, simply write the definition of the fertility rate. The question about the fertility rate, simply write the definition of the fertility rate, or you can start off with the context. कि ये question पूछा क्यों है? नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे 5 आया है और बहुत सारे डेमोग्राफिक एट्रीब्यूट्स पे बात हो रही है, इसीलिए ये क्वेश्चन आया है. So either it can be fact, a definition, or the context, right? So you can, whenever you are stuck, what is the introduction that I make? You think, can I write a definition? Can I write a fact? Have I written some fact? Or can I relate it to the news and then write the introduction? Fact you बता रहे हो, तो report क्या है? Report is a source. Report is a source. नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे के हिसाब से ये लिंक है, WHO रिपोर्ट के हिसाब से ये लिंक है. सो रिपोर्ट इज द सोर्स. व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग अ फैक्ट, support it with the report. So this is the 3 type of introduction. What are the 3 type of conclusion? How do I conclude? One way can be a way forward. A way forward. ठीक है. The question about fertility. Just write about the population control requires attitudinal change. Meaning, if we have to control population, no matter what you do, you bring government policies, you educate women, you give good health to the women. One thing is important is बच्चे भगवान की देन है, ये attitude को change करना है. ठीक है, that we need, otherwise we'll not be able to control the population. So we need attitudinal change. So I'm coming on to a solution. I'm giving you a way forward, right? So introduction can be a way forward that is given a solution, or you can also write about the government schemes, the many government schemes, right? Beti bachao beti padhao, 100% immunization, the women literacy, institutional deliveries, they are working on the same parameters to control the population numbers. So either you give me a way forward, or you give me the government schemes, or you can simply tell us about the summarization. Summarize whatever you have written, or whatever you have written in the body, you are simply summarizing it for your examiner. This government scheme works very good for your GS paper 3. The economy portion, the agriculture portion, government GS paper 3 mein, you'll see many of the candidates, they are summarizing, they are concluding using government schemes. And way forward works good for your GS paper 1 society part. For the governance part, you will see many candidates writing about the second ARC. Second ARC ne ye bola hai. That's the thing they are giving the way forward. So code based works for ethics also. So you can simply have these techniques across the GS papers, across your optional. So what is the type of intro? What do we need in body? What should be a diagram? And for optional, diagram is must. And the conclusion, the 3 types of conclusion. Now for your body part, another important thing is the case study. The case study. What is a case study? Case study for geography optionals. Case study for environment portion in GS. The case study for the society related. What is a case study? एक box बना देते हैं. People make a box in the body part. They write a case study and they write some content. What is a case study? A case study is nothing but a detailed example. Rather than simply writing an example in 2 words, you go into the detailed example. For example, Kenya में government ने ये policy लाई, this benefited women, and you can see Kenya controlled its population. So you've given the detailed example. You might study in your magazines, Norway model है, there is Scandinavian model for the good health, the human development good for your Finland model. So what is that? That's nothing but a case study. And when you write a case study for your geography optional or GS, try to make a diagram, small diagram. So if I'm writing a case study for Kenya, so I'll show where is Kenya. I'll try to show to the examiner, I know where is Kenya and what is happening in Kenya. A detailed example. For your geography optional paper 2, many of the candidates, what do? अपने गांव के बारे में लिख लेते हैं और उसके बाद अच्छा एग्जाम्पल लिख लेते हैं और केस स्टडी बना देते हैं. नहीं पढ़ी है, केस स्टडी बनानी है, मार्क्स चाहिए. फॉर योर ज्योग्राफी पेपर 2, द मार्क्स रेंजेस फ्रॉम 130 to 170. योर ज्योग्राफी पेपर 2 is a differentiator, right? If in your geography the marks if is around 300, you will see that in geography paper 1, it is, if you go score about 140, 145, it's a very good score. The differentiator becomes your geography paper 2. People score 130 to 170. As low as 90 also, if you have not met the demand of the questions. So geography paper 2 में many of the candidates, they make case study. How do they make case study? ये तहसील है, ये district है, इसमें ये हुआ था और ये अच्छा है. So they try to innovate the case studies. पढ़ी नहीं, अगर पढ़ी है तो well and good, नहीं पढ़ी है तो the best word is जुगाड़. जुगाड़ लगा लो and try to write the case studies. Don't do this for all of the 14 answers or 28 answers. You have to be very smart कि किस में क्या करना है, किस में क्या नहीं करना है. Many of the engineers, they are getting very good score. The reason is they know one thing, that is called as jugaad.